Reporters interview Mr. Salmon, the lone survivor of a shocking incident where a giant mammoth was killed. Mr. Salmon explains that the mammoth was no ordinary beast, and that no other species could match its size. He expresses concern that if things continue this way, the reserve will turn into a desert within 2 years, leading to the extinction of herbivores and carnivores. However, he surprises the reporters by mentioning that the army didn't use bullets to kill the mammoth. Instead, a man appeared and defeated the creature without any weapons.
Just as that monster was leaving after completely devastating our forces, a man showed up and placed himself in front of the beast.
The reporters immediately dismiss Mr. Salmon's statement, thinking he made up the story, disheartened. Mr. Salmon walks away without saying another word. At home, his only solace is his son, who believes his father's story wholeheartedly. Mr. Salmon shares everything he witnessed about the man, defeating the giant mammoth with his son. Meanwhile, the nameless man's son catches a mantis for training in the morning. Inspired by a friend's challenge, the boy decides to enter high school alone and challenge the strongest person in the school. The scared boy enters the scene and confronts 3 bullies with a knife, demanding a fight. The bullies laugh at him mockingly. However, the boy changes his expression and asks to meet the strongest person in the school. This makes the trio take him seriously. After school, the boy encounters the bullies again, who ask if he has fulfilled his promise. The boy explains that the trio should meet the strongest man by the Tama River that evening. Fearing the consequences if they break their promise, the boys go to the river as agreed. The strongest man, Baki, appears. The boy notices that Baki is smaller than he imagined, but when Baki removes his outwear, revealing his muscular physique, the boy is surprised. Moreover, Baki's seriousness in this match shows the boy that he is not an ordinary high school student, but a formidable opponent. Baki swiftly disappears, reappears beside the boy, and playfully slaps his buttocks, causing him to fall into the river. This shocking incident shatters the boy's delinquent dreams. However, Baki extends his hand, shakes hands with the boy, and declares them friends. Later, Captain Stridom approaches Baki to discuss how his father defeated the mammoth. Stridom suggests that the fight between father and son is connected to the war between the 2 countries. Baki dismisses it as a normal father-son quarrel, but Stridom angrily departs. That night, the boy asks Baki about finding someone to train with for his upcoming battle against the strongest man in the world. Baki decides to create a random opponent for his own training and starts practicing shadowboxing. He takes the technique to another level by visualizing his opponent as Iron Man Michael, the former world heavyweight boxing champion. During the intense training, Baki is knocked down, but his nose starts bleeding, and he delivers a final blow to end the simulated fight. The boy, Zumi, accompanies Baki to his house, where they come across drawings and inscriptions insulting Baki. These were made by people who couldn't defeat him and vented their anger through this mean trick.
The guys who did this aren't actually able to fight against me. So instead, they fight me with their words.
At the end of the street, they reach Baki's house. Upon returning home, Baki starts stretching to prepare for the evening training. He reveals to Zumi that his formidable opponent for tonight is in the basement. As they descend, Baki reveals that the opponent, stronger than a tiger, lion, and even the mammoth, is right in front of them. Just as he finishes speaking, Baki is thrown against the wall, and Zumi reveals that this time Baki's opponent is the mantis in the glass box. Baki believes that insects excel in solo combat and that their strength is comparable to Zumi, who can carry a 200-kilogram person from home to school, while the jumping power of fleas is equivalent to a person leaping over 10 floors. Meanwhile, the mantis is a skilled warrior and an exceptional creature. Baki wants to challenge himself by imagining a 100-kilogram mantis. The battle begins, but Baki is surprised when he gets knocked back by the growing mantis. They engage in the fight, but Baki finds himself immobilized by the mantis's grip and is thrown against the wall. Witnessing this, Zumi seeks Baki's shadowboxing moves and imagines the opponent appearing before him, a 100-kilogram mantis. Baki tries to lock the mantis's neck with a jump, but the mantis cleverly defends itself by using its claws. Baki kicks it in the face to escape and continues to attack. Despite hitting his head on the table, Baki persists in analyzing the mantis's moves. He discovers a weak point under the mantis's neck. He recalls a story about a sparrow defeating a larger bird by following the mantis's movements. Inspired by this, he utilizes a martial art technique called Toroken to fight the mantis. The battle between Baki and the mantis intensifies, with Baki gaining the upper hand. In the end, Baki jumps, hits the mantis's head, and breaks its neck. Baki emerges as the overwhelming victor. Captain Stridom arrives at the hotel to find Yujiro Hanma, Baki's father. Gidaru is swimming upstream at a remarkable speed of 20 kilometers per hour and has been swimming for hours. They discuss Baki's defeat of the imaginary 100-kilogram mantis, which Baki had challenged Yujiro with. Yujiro laughs and sternly remarks that such imaginary battles cannot be compared to real ones. On the same day, during the US President's parade, the cameras suddenly go offline. When they come back on, it is discovered that the president has been kidnapped by an Asian individual who took him into a restaurant. The kidnapper turns out to be Baki himself. Baki intentionally kidnapped the president with a specific demand to be placed in the high-security Arizona State Prison. He knows that Biscuit Oliver, known as the Muscle Monster, is held there. The panicked president accepts Baki's condition to avoid being harmed. The president calls his bodyguards to handle the situation. Baki appears in court and is sentenced to be detained at the heavily guarded Arizona State Prison, known for housing prisoners with powerful physiques. After going through various checks, Baki is taken to the prison chief for a conversation. Surprisingly, he is escorted to Oliver's room, which turns out to be an opulent space filled with precious wines. Oliver enjoys his life in the prison, while Baki impatiently desires to attack everyone. However, all of it, the strongest prisoner, doesn't seem to care, which surprises Baki. All of it decides to let Baki stay in the same room as the second strongest prisoner. Baki is taken back to his cell, where he is unexpectedly locked up with Iron Man Michael. Baki initially thought Michael was the second strongest, but that turned out to be untrue. However, the next morning, Baki is taken aback when he finds John sleeping in a broom closet. John, who believes a warrior can only rest when they are dead, is confident in his abilities. Baki, equally confident, wants to defeat John and become number 2 in the prison.
If I were to take you out right now, I guess that would make me number 2.
The warden comes to gather all the prisoners and assert his authority, but only John is allowed to freely move around. Not only that, but John even takes a cigarette from the warden, surprising Baki. Despite others being beaten for speaking out, John seems free within the confines of the prison. During mealtime, a large man sitting in front of John challenges him to a fight, boasting about his street fights and undefeated record in sumo. The man breaks his spoon to demonstrate his strength, but John effortlessly deforms the spoon, which angers the man. He knocks the table over, prompting the guards to intervene. John takes a gun from one of the guards and challenges the man to shoot him in the head. However, before the man can pull the trigger, John kicks him in the groin, causing him intense pain. Unsatisfied with John's fighting style, the man challenges John to a sumo match. They proceed to the sports hall, where the 3 guards observe. John swiftly grabs the man to prevent him from lifting him. He then slaps the man's ear, disorienting him, and uses the man's hairs to disrupt his balance. The man falls down and wants to continue fighting, but he has lost the match. John smokes a cigarette and leaves, while the guards execute the defeated man. As John leaves the room, he encounters Baki waiting for him. So, what did you think of Baki's journey so far? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so we can keep making them. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and remember to click on the notification bell. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well. Thanks for watching.